Today on Motion Drive, we make pumpkins. Welcome to Motion Drive. I'm Ben Lundgren, and today we're going to be creating this crocheted pumpkin. To create this pumpkin, you will need Blender and this texture. Link in the description. Open up Blender, delete the default cube. With X, Shift A, add a sphere. Double the segments and rings by typing ×2. Add a subdivision modifier with Control 4. And make sure the render is also set to 4. Go to the shading tab, add a new material, Shift A, add an image, texture, open the crocheted texture, plug the color into the base color, open the texture with the image editor, change it to UV editor, add a color ramp in between the image and shader. Now you can pick any color you want. Add in a texture coordinate and a vector math node. Shift D, duplicate the vector math node. Set one to scale and the other to add. Plug the UV into the scale into the add into the image. This setup will allow us to add variation to the texture later on. Hit Tab, go into edit mode, A to select all, go to the UV editor, S to scale, Tab to exit edit mode, back in the shader editor, Shift A, add a noise texture, plug that into the add, change the noise texture settings till you get something you're happy with. Tab to go into edit mode, select the top and bottom poles, O to enable proportional editing, SZ to scale on the Z axis, and scroll on the mouse wheel to increase and decrease influence. Tab to exit edit mode. Add another sphere, 3 on the numpad for right view, S to scale, GZ to move up, Alt-Z to toggle X-ray, select half the sphere, E to extrude, move the other half down, Control-R to add a loop cut, scroll on the mouse wheel to add lots of cuts, exit edit mode, right-click, shade smooth on the other object as well. Back in the shading tab, continue to mess around with the settings. Shift A, add in a displacement node, plug the image into the displacement node, and the displacement node into the displacement output. Right now, the displacement isn't actually deforming the surface, which is a problem because it looks better with real displacement. So make sure you're in cycles render mode. Go to the Material tab, scroll down to Settings. Under Surface, change from Bump Only to Displacement and Bump. Now in rendered view, you can see the surface is bumpy, and the silhouette is affected, but it's too much. So turn down the scale, select the stem, add a new material, change the material to the crocheted material, click on the new material button, make a new material copy. Now that it's copied, you can edit the stem and the pumpkin material separately. This video is brought to you by nobody. That's right, no sponsors or patrons. Do you have people supporting your hopes and dreams? Well, boy oh boy, do I have a solution for you. Try Nobody today and use coupon code MOTIONDRIVE to get 15% off.
Serious side effects may include no money, sadness, stress, and anxiety. If you experience any of these symptoms or worse, stop Nobody immediately. Batteries not included, each sold separately.
Change the color to green, tab to edit mode, 3, then 9 on the numpad for orthographic left view. Select the middle edge with Alt left click, Control E for the edge menu, go down, mark seam, 3 for right view, U to unwrap, and cylinder project. S to scale up the UVs, Y for up and down, X for left and right. Select the top pole, Control plus to increase the selection, 3OR to rotate with proportional editing, G to move, and now you have a bent stem. Control 3 to add a subdivision modifier with 3 subdivisions. Change the render to 3 as well. Turn up the scale for the displacement. Add a plane, move it down, rotate it with RZ. Go into edit mode, select the far edge, E to extrude it up. Select the far edge again, Control B to bevel. Scroll on the mouse wheel to add more segments. Exit edit mode, right click, smooth. At this point, I realized that I've been working with two image textures right on top of each other. This caused the bump not to be affected by the noise texture, so my color and bump didn't match. But I fixed that. So, time to add hair. Go to the particle tab, add a new particle system, change it to hair, make the hairs very short. Go to the children and make it interpolated. Go to kink and change it from nothing to radial. Increase the frequency and amplitude till you get some wiggly hair. Change the diameter root to something small. Select the stem, add a new particle system, change it to be the first particle system, and make it a copy. So we can change the stem hair differently. Mess with the settings, make the shape uneven. Shift A, add a mix shader, put that in between the first shader and the output. Add a velvet shader, plug that into the mix, move the factor around until you get a good mix, and do the same thing on the other material. And again, this is the final result. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.